Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at, ladies and gents. I am Kura Isagami, your resident tinkerer and Medarotter, and this is the Medarot News Network, bringing you all the latest developments and happenings with our favorite pet fighting robot series. Now, as we step away from the collaboration, it actually would be more accurate to say we are, but rather we're also not, because as you see here behind me, we actually have the introduction of another anime-only model, or rather fusion design, I guess you can call it, officially being debuted into the world of Medarot S and in the game universe as well. In addition to this, we are also seeing the rerun of a very popular and immensely powerful giant Stag Beetle type with a completely fresh new kit with some extra perks, more or less in the same vein that we saw the crafty modes with both Saikachis and Dorcas. But with that aside, there is still a good handful of other things to expect and what to look for with the coming week and what to expect. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into what was officially announced for this week, starting of course with the gacha banners and who to expect that is incoming. Now, the first and only model we're going to be getting through this next week as well is the introduction of basically the crafty mode equivalent to Tyrell Beetle, which is KWG06T TyrrellBT Twisty Mode variant, with a brand new kit across the board of Desperate T, Double Beam Sword T, biped legs, and a new leg ability of Stand Form. You may make your JoJo memes and references now. Additionally, it also does meta change into one of two pieces into the iconic and well-known Master Beetle from the anime, where it's a fusion of both him and Arc Beetle D for a united power front on the field. In this changed form, Tyrell BT in particular exchanges his kit out entirely for Master Thunder, Jet Blow, Revenge Sword, Flight Legs, and another new leg ability of Detect. Now, being completely honest, to say that Tyrell BT's kit is completely new is both correct and also not really. Like I said, it basically is in the same vein as Dorcas C and Saikachi C, where it's basically just some TP bonuses slapped on there for an extra coat of paint and some better spruced up stats to make sure he stays in the competitive. The same can be said ultimately because the Master Beetle form is the big highlight to this one in specific, and it was also confirmed this morning that we are also getting an Arc Beetle D variant as well, who also can transform into Master Beetle. So ultimately, if the big question is there, yes, you can ideally have two Master Beetle teams in the same team under this correct condition. And just to kind of step aside that for a minute, Master Beetle is kind of weird, because the controversy around it this morning didn't really see it in a very positive light. Actually, to say it was more mixed would be the better way to describe it. And my personal take on it is Master Beetle is weird, because with the exception of only a very small handful of other models, such as Zero Suicide, the penultimate boss from Navi, being a combiner type, this one was kind of done in a way that really doesn't make a lot of conventional sense. Did they give the form to Tyrell Beetle, or do they give it to Arc Beetle D? Because they both comprise pieces of it. So ultimately, the fact that they're both getting a version of this is kind of the best way to go about it, in my personal opinion, because it's just so unconventional and really hard to try to translate into game rules in particular. So I'm interested to see where this is going to go, and I'm kind of have an idea as to what to expect for Arc Beetle DT when he comes out next week, but we will have to see when time does come out and when he is revealed next week. Now, for the boosted rates that we have going up this week as well, it's only just a couple models as well. Much like it was last week with Saikachi C getting the highlight, Dorcas C at KWG05M is also getting a rerun, with a kit of Radar Sight C, Sword C, Hammer C, Biped Legs, and Lightweight. Now, as a member of the Crafty Mode Transformation series, Dorcas C can also transform into an alternative meta change mode. In this crafty mode, he exchanges his kit out for Meta Shears, which is basically anti-air and anti-sea merged together, Jet Blow, Jet Hammer, Flight Legs, and the leg ability of Float Legs and the leg ability of High Fly. So very solid and very powerful run is here for what he brings to the table. Even if this version of Dorcas is more or less identical to the original commercial model, just with some extra perks and a different change mode. And lastly, we also have a boosted rate for DVL03 Blossomale, the Pink Devil type, with a kit of Destroy, Double Sacrifice, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of Bloodstain. Now, Blossomale is also capable of meta-changing into a bestial-like alternate mode, and in this form she exchanges her kit out for triple destroy, multi-ped legs, and also maintaining bloodstain. It is also worth noting, though, that Blossomale can also has tune-up treatment bonuses available to her. So if you do end up collecting on Blossomale, or if you do get lucky and have already snagged her, this does mean you'll have the opportunity to earn some extra points that you can use toward permanent bonuses and permanent perks that you can use to kind of up her game just a little bit. Compared to most other models of the DBL series, she did kind of fall behind just a hair, especially with the eclipse of Gothic Mates with the introduction of the Anniversary of S last year, but still a very powerful model all the same, and definitely a force to be reckoned with. Now, when it comes to the Fierce Battles this week, though, it's going to be focusing very strongly on a very heavy utility-based emphasis, with not necessarily a lot of very strong or very high versatile parts, but parts that are kind of better if used in proper context, and in that context can actually be put to very good use. Starting us up on this top row here, we have PCP-0 War Headley, the Porcupine type, with Optic Guard, Double Napalm, Tank Legs, and Heavy Arms. We have GBK-01 Melody Beat with Super Repair, Wave, Missile, Multi-Legs, and All-Rounder, and BTA-0 Mekong Narob, the Fighting Betta Fish type, with Guard Boost, Double Provoke, Sea Legs, and Blowbeat. On this bottom row, we have FSK-0 Jinban Fairy, the Figure Skating type, with Charge Plant, Double Claw, Flight Legs, and Snow type. We have RAY-04 Arago Star with Triple Beam, Wheeled Legs, and a Cell. And last but not least, we also have KAP-01 Kappa Lord with Beam, Double Anti-Sea, Sea Legs, and Forest. Now, ultimately, like I said, it's going to be a very largely utility-based week, so none of these models in particular are things you're going to use right away, for lack of a better term, but these are ultimately things that it wouldn't hurt to have in your library just in case. Even if you only raise them up to 3-star and don't go any higher, it's still worth to have these parts on hand just to the sake that you have them, as it's better to have them, even at low rank, than it is to not have them and find yourself lacking. That being said, I do have to give the MVP of the week ultimately to Jinban Fairy, primarily for the reason that Charge Plant can be very nice, but Flight Legs and the leg ability of Snow type is pretty much what sets her above the rest. On snow terrain, where only a very small handful have mastery on that at best, and even then that mastery is very passable. Jinban Fairy's legs with Snow type means that she'll have an advantage where others can't, and that'll allow you to really fill in a lot of holes and keep a speed bonus on terrains where a lot of people are just going to be really stomping through snow and kind of hoping and praying they can still keep a semblance of some kind of speed. Now, as far as game stuff is concerned and event stuff, we do have another wave of Damashi or Medarot Spirits events that are incoming. Not a whole lot of rewards to be earned per se in this wave of the event as well, but we do have another really shiny looking medal there that we can earn. This week, in this particular wave of the event, we can earn the Black Kuwagata medal, which is a speed nature medal with a mastery in melee, support, and healing, and a leg mastery in biped, floating, and flying. So another very solid utility match you can use for a lot of your high speed or evade based melee types. So definitely good to keep that in mind as well. We can also earn a profile banner featuring Master Beetle himself there, what we can use on our profile plates, as well as other limited time gacha tickets, banners, as well as other hidden illustrations as well, and other limited time resources that can also be earned. So like I said, this event's not going to be super heavy on a lot of free stuff or stuff that you can collect on, but that medal is definitely one you don't want to miss out on all the same. This event in particular will be ticket-based, so the bonuses will stack per part equipped across the team, very similarly to how they do Score Attack. Now, as far as the blue ticket bonuses are concerned, to highlight us off with that 2-phase here, blue ticket bonuses will highlight you at a +3 each per part for Dorcas C, Blossomale, or either of the Beetle Boys, Kabuto Benimaru, or Kuwagata Baizan. It'll be a +1 ticket bonus each, blue ticket bonus for each of the Fierce Battles. And for Metarotters, it'll give you a +3 blue bonus for SR Nai or SR Iki, the conventional OG version that are available in the permanent Metarotter pool. And a +2 for the R-ranked versions of either of those or Arika, and a +1 for the N-ranked versions respectively. For For the silver ticket bonuses, where you'll get the most of the premium rewards, such as the Black Kuwagata medal, it'll be a +3 per part equipped of Black Beetle A, Tyrell BT, or even Gyros, which most likely will be returning as an event reward as well. So for anyone that did miss him the first time, this is probably going to be a good opportunity to pick up on him again, because he is a rather unique bony boy, but his multi-legs with heavy arms is honestly pretty tough to beat after running some numbers and seeing how he performs the first week he was released. And for Medarotters, of course, the collab versions of Nai and Kurojiri will be giving you that +3 bonus each as well for silver tickets. So ultimately, if you've been staying up to date with models thus far, such as with Black Beetle A last week or either of the Medarotters, you really should be good to go for the silver bonuses, but still worth collecting all the same. Since this week is also going to be pretty heavy on meta change type models, do exercise caution if you do plan to pull, as the models on those banners are either you get all of them at once or none at all. Just make sure that you go in forewarned. Couple other things of game related, much like it is with previous models, we do also have a super invasion going live for Tyrell BT as well. No real clue as to what to expect from that one, but I do expect it is probably going to be a bloodbath, knowing that it has the powerful Master Beetle there available as an alternative mode that it can transform into. We also have limited event missions that can also be completed once the event does go live, so that you can collect on extra Ruby Shards and Gacha tickets as well to try to collect on some extra rewards. And the Ruby Shards will also be really good to stay on top of for your emergency stash if you do find yourself running low on rubies. Now, the last thing that was game-related in particular I will cover is just something that's kind of still in a pending state right now. It was kind of obvious when they revealed it that Mr. Unohei didn't quite see that this was received as well as expected, because there were kind of a lot of loopholes and rules and things that they didn't quite consider. But basically, the pending rules so far are quality of life changes primarily to Medley. Not online combat, not online PvP, but the weekly one that resets every Monday. The first of the rules that are changing is that they are changing the Exhibition row battle from Silent Leader to Domination rule. Now, I do need to explain this briefly because there was a little bit of a misconstruement and a misunderstanding in the comments and discussion on the Discord server earlier this morning. The Exhibition matches are not official matches in the weekly PvP. The Exhibition is the little green button that you can tap to kind of let you sample that particular week's PvP pool and just kind of give you an idea of what to expect going into it. So if you need to fine-tune your team before you do try your 5 attempts of that day, this is essentially your chance to pick up on it and kind of test the waters before you actually commit. This is not actually counting towards any points. And that was just one of the minor misunderstandings as well. It's just saying that for this rule specifically, that you have to defeat all of your opponents in order to actually count it as a win as in that testing ground. It is not going to be Silent Leader. The other change is that opponent re-rolls, where you can kind of cycle and see what other enemy combatants you can get, is reduced to 1 a day, without the use of being able to watch ads. Now, both of these are relatively controversial as well. I don't really think I have much of a say because I'm not super active in the PvP game aside from my weekly contribution. But basically, this is just kind of an attempt that they're making to curb cheaters and frauds. Because what a lot of people have apparently noticed is they will look for specific people and mark them in Exhibition and try to figure out who the leader is or just exactly how their team operates. And then in official matches, they'll actually try to find that exact same player or players and basically cheese their way to free victories, because now they know who the enemy leader is and who to target to try to kill them in as few turns as possible, or even tailor their teams to specific fights to give them the highest amount of points, which is, it's creative in a sense, but also, reminder, it is kind of cheating because you're kind of fighting your opponent twice, and the second time gives you knowledge as to what to expect. So they're trying to find a way to curb that, and like I said, it was made obvious in the chat from that stream that it wasn't necessarily as received as they hoped, so this is probably still going to be up for discussion just a little bit longer before it does go live. But this is just me keeping you guys in the know and what to expect as those developments do progress. Now, as far as community stuff is concerned, stepping away from Medarot S for a minute, we are still always looking for translators to assist us with any current projects or endeavors. Currently, the endeavor is being put toward Medarot 4, which is still in the very early decompilation stage. And we would also love, I have not touched on it in a while, but just to talk about it, we would also love to get some help on the Medarot Reloaded side manga. We do have all the chapters collected, but we don't have anybody that can help clean and translate them so we can post them on manga sites to read. We would love to learn the story of Kagami and Metabi as well, and that extra story that has progressed for quite some time, but we need help with that as well as with Medarot 4. So if you are knowledgeable in coding, cleaning, Japanese, or if you know somebody that is and have some time on their hands or your hands, feel free to ask us around in our community Discord, reach out to me, and I can most certainly try to help get you in touch as well with our teams, with our translation teams on that, and see what we can do to get you filled in on what still needs done and what has been finished up to that point. Medarot 3 has been progressing pretty well, just some minor bugs here and there that are being cleaned up along the way, but based on everyone I have spoken with personally on it, it seems that the translation was an immense and very highly welcome success. Congratulations to the translation team on that, you are doing the good work with what you do, and I'm looking forward to seeing what comes out in Medarot 4 as the progress does develop. With the weekly art highlights here on the MNN, just to cover them ever so briefly, I love this one here by Twitter user Mota at MotaMonkey. What I really like about Mota's art is that he takes a lot of the well-known designs and kind of likes to complicate, I guess I can call them, artistically complicate them a little bit to go for some extra hyper detailing here. And this one here with Benten Sada of Horomorin 7 Lucky Gods is most certainly no exception either. I really like the attention to detail that they do with basically creating all the seams and making them as detailed as possible. I really love that attention to detail, and it's just something that you can absolutely do to get on my highlights, because I love what people do with that. And this one here by my dear friend Pikugatsu, also kind of highlighting on the other end of spectrum with a more toony and simple kind of design. But what I really like that Pikugatsu's been doing recently is kind of redesigning a lot of older models that were not in Medarot Navi, in the Navi style of Navi sprite style that was designed as more of a kind of like an alternative take on a chibi, more or less. And I really like the design that they came with on that. Definitely give both of these artists a follow if you'd like to see more of their art in your feeds. You most certainly will not be sorry. One final note before I do wrap us up here, as a friendly reminder, I am always open for commissions, so if you are looking for any art for live 2D models ready to rig, 3D models fully rigged, textured, and optimized, standard art of varying degrees of detail or emotes, or even anything else of the wide array that I offer, I'm more than happy to reach out to you and try to make something happen. So feel free to reach out to me on Discord or on Twitter, and we can try to make a waybill and figure out what exactly you're looking for and try to make something work and try to bring to life what you're looking for and what you envision in your head. But with all that being said, I believe that covers basically everything for this week's news. So like I said, not a whole lot of new stuff per se, aside from the very exciting introduction of Master Beetle into the game at long last. And I'm interested to see how they're going to be translating that for Arc Beetle DT when he does officially go live as well next week. But I will, of course, cover on that as we get information. But if you'd like to know more, you can follow us below on Facebook at the Medarot News Network page or the Metabots Forever community on there that I do also run and manage. You can also join us on Discord in the link provided and in the comments below as well to keep an even closer ear to the ground on the action. This includes any new links to merchandise, fan art, contests, my weekly episodes, or anything else related to our favorite fighting robots. That's the first place you're going to hear the news before it goes anywhere else on the net. You can also reach out to me personally on Twitter, like I said, at IsagameKura. So for any questions, feedback, comments, inquiries, or if you're a content creator and want to collaborate, I am more than happy to try to make something happen with you. So feel free to reach out to me in those DMs and we can most certainly try to make something happen, whether it be a collab or commission. Lastly, do give these wonderful friends a follow as well, type CKW and Ribbontail as well. Both also wonderful and fantastic artists in the Medarot community, and you most certainly will not be sorry to see either of them in your feeds. But with all that being said, as always, I do appreciate you all for stopping in, just as you always do. Until next time, this is your host, Kura Isagami of the Medarot News Network, signing out.